All right, how's everybody doing? So super excited to be with you today, and we've got such an important topic. So let me know you can hear me loud and clear. I always want to make sure the microphone's working, so please put some comments in there. Tell me everything's sounding good. Today we're going to talk about buying houses with code violations. I actually am going to share a couple of personal experiences with you, and I got a letter on a code violation on a property I owned this week. Or 2 weeks ago. But anyway, in the last few weeks, I got one. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how this can be a great buying opportunity for you. Sean, thanks for the check on the audio. I appreciate it. So what you're going to learn today, we're going to talk about what code violations are. We're going to talk about how they can absolutely kill your profits. We're going to also talk about how you can use them to actually find profitable deals. We're going to talk about how to work with contractors. Quick disclaimer, shows for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any financial moves, consult a real estate professional, attorney, CPA, or other professionals with expertise in that subject matter. Everybody's situation is different. There's no one-size-fit-all guaranteed approach to work for investors. DHM may receive payments from sponsorships, guests in the form of books, giveaways, items, discounts, or other remunerations. As with anything in life, results come from education, following a system, hard work, and determination to follow through until the end. Okay, free swag. This is my favorite. It's not my favorite section, but it's a fun section. Today's free swag giveaway. Here's what we're going to be giving away. Let me find. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got a couple of cool things we're going to be giving away. So, of course, we've got our DHM, what is it called? Ice Pack. These are actually awesome. I didn't realize how much I liked them until I started using them in the last couple of weeks here. We've got our insulated thermos, or insulated for a water bottle. We've got a DHM jump rope. Can you even see that? Yeah, there you go. We got a couple of stress houses. Well, they're awesome. We've got a stretchy band that you can use for exercise and that type of stuff. And we have a super sweet OGO bag here. It's a little duffel bag. It's called I think they call it 1.0. It's got our logo on it. It's a super cool little duffel bag. I actually use these a lot. My pickleball stuff's in one, and I put my changing gear in another one. I actually played pickleball this morning. If any pickleball fans out there, make sure you shout out on the on the chat here. So anyway, this whole thing is going to be going to somebody. Now, this is this week's giveaway. We'll be giving away last week's giveaway. Let me remind you what that is. So we'll be giving away last week's giveaway at the end of the live cast today. So stay tuned, stay with us. But for last week, let's just go through that. Last week, we've got a cool backpack just in time for back to school, right? So we've got a really good... It's got a bunch of compartments and all that type of stuff. We also have that we'll be giving away at the end of today. This is for last week's. This one, we've got our financial freedom worksheet, our workbook. We've got our DVD. We've got our USB with all the forms. We've got our steps to financial freedom, all that type of stuff in here, 100% financing. All that's in this, so you can check that out. The winner's going to be getting that. We've also got our stretchy... things. These are great for work, actually, because you can do your thing. We also, same thing, we've got the jump rope, and we've got the ice pack or the ice thing. This one also, it's got the thermos, and we've got this is one of my personal favorites, is the hand strengthener, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be giving this whole package we just went through. That is what we're giving away at the end of today's. The person's already been determined. He's in the slide deck. He or she, I shouldn't say he, is in the slide deck. We'll be going over that a little bit later. So, who wants to win some free swag? It sounds like Sean does. Sean, sounds great. All useful items. Gloria, hello. Glad you're with us. Gloria, you want to win some free swag. Maurice is in the house. Thanks for being with us, Maurice. If you want to win some swag today, put it in the comments. Let me know you want to win some swag. That's how we determine if you want to win the swag. What we're looking for is great questions. So if you're asking questions, what we're talking about, or you have real estate questions, type them in the chat. That's the whole beauty of being here live, is I actually answer those for you. And then positive comments. We're looking for people that are talking to other people that are positive. This is a big one. Comments on the recorded YouTube. So So this video will get posted on YouTube as well, and you can go in there and make comments. And I'll give you a little hint. If you want to win the free swag, if you go give the thumbs up and give a comment on YouTube, you're going to have a much higher chance of getting this swag. So, I mean, I'm just cat's out of the bag. So now you know what to do. We're also looking for high interaction. We're looking for people. I mean, you saw Mr. Cash, you saw Mr. Rogers, you saw Sean that were making some comments and stuff even before we started. That's the type of interaction we're looking for, and I'm counting on you guys to keep that coming through the rest of the live cast. I'm going to choose one person for next week. One has already been chosen for last week, and that person will be getting announced at the end. If you missed us last week, boy, you missed an amazing topic. The whole question was, how many houses can you really flip in a year? And so we talked about the time frame for a flip. We talked about how many flips you can do in a year, how to get started. We talked about how to do more flips, and we talked about how much you should be able to make or expect to make per flip. If you missed it, go on YouTube, check it out. Do Hard Money. How many houses can I flip in a year? Welcome to everybody. We've got a couple of people that are coming on. Andre is with us. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. Glad you're here, man. If you are joining us live, please give us your first name and the state and city you're investing in. Just go ahead, type it in now, put it in the chat so we can know who's here and what everybody's saying. We've got a good group with us today. So Sean, my landlord is offering me the house I've lived in for 9 years, but I know it has foundation sinking. Is there any suggestions you have for me? Sean, where's the house located? In Texas, foundation issues are pretty common and typically going to get fixed for less than $5,000. So I would, Indianapolis. Yeah, I mean, take a close look at it. I would get a structural engineer's report to check it out. That'd probably be my biggest thing, is get a structural engineer to come look at it, or get some helical pier people. These are the guys that actually put helical piers in it. For my personal situation, I don't like foundation issues. I stay away from them, and I recommend most new investors stay away from foundation issues unless they're minor, like in Texas. If I got anybody from Texas, give me a shout out. But in Texas, most houses, if you don't water your foundation, you're going to get you're going to have some settling issues. And so those are typically taken care of with a few $1,000, under $5 typically. So hope that helps, Sean. If not, hit me back up with some questions. If you're watching these in the recorded, join us live Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gabriel from Los Angeles, Orange County. Thanks for being with us. I hope you guys are doing well. You can ask as many questions you want. You can ask them in real time. I'm going to respond to them just like I answered Sean's question about his landlord. And I want to make sure you get what you need out of these. It helps me determine future topics. It helps me determine future things that we're going to be doing. So, and a quick shout out, if I get your name wrong, I'm super sorry. I'm horrible with names, and it's a long ways. I take questions and build training around what you say. I believe it's structural from the floor joist. Yeah, Sean, I think the best thing is to get some professionals out there. Start with a contractor, probably get them out there for free, and then you may have to get an engineer, structural engineer, to come take a look at that, really to get an idea what you're getting yourselves into. And I hope you're getting an amazing deal on it if you're going to deal with those types of problems. Big thanks. These are from last week's. These people commented on the video that's recorded. Chris said, "That was great, LOL. Just started watching your channel." Thanks for watching us, Chris, and I hope you've subscribed. Erich, Illinois, the term broker is used in place of an agent when it comes to representing clients in a real estate transaction. We talked about that. So if you like these live casts and you want to see them continue, I really need your help. We're at 4,205 subscribers. Our goal for last month was to get to 4,200. We did that. Super excited that we exceeded it. We're the first day of a new month. So our goal is to get to 4,275. So we want to add 70 new subscribers this month. So please, if you're not a subscriber yet, please do so. We got 70 more to go. And if you're not a subscriber and you're just subscribing, please put that in the comments that you just subscribed. It's really helpful for us as well. A couple of things. things. What do we got? I believe, okay, we talked about that. Sean, Maurice from Cleveland. Thanks for being with us, Maurice. And Sean, thank you. You bet, man. I hope that's really helpful. We have some great news that you're going to want to know. We are now doing videos updated daily. So every single day we've got a new video that's going to be hitting. So check it out. Our first one of these, they're little snippets. They're less than 5 minutes that answer some very specific questions as people ask questions. So we did a release today. If you haven't checked it out, check it out on YouTube. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And please, give us a thumbs up on this recorded video. Please do that. Make sure you subscribe. Who is not a subscriber? If you're not a subscriber, make yourself known by going and subscribing and saying, I just subscribed. So do that. And the other thing is there's this little bell icon, and that little bell icon will notify you when we have new videos and new things that are coming up, which is really helpful. So make sure you give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and hit the bell for Do Hard Money on our YouTube channel. Leave a comment on the recorded video. I just said, like I was saying, hey, if you want to win the swag bags that are coming out here, my big recommendation is make sure you get on that recorded video on YouTube, go make some comments. And lastly, please tell somebody else about it. Tell somebody else, especially there's somebody, a spouse, a business partner, somebody else that's looking into real estate. Say, hey, you got to check this out. It'll really help you get on the same page. So please tell some other people about this. Okay, what do we got here? Sean, I'm originally from Indianapolis. It's common in old houses there, and it is flexible. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for commenting. I love it when we have people helping each other out. And so the question just is, are you getting a good enough deal on the house? Is it worth fixing? And how much is it going to cost? That's really what it comes down to. All right, we got our subscriber. Sean just subscribed. Thanks for subscribing, man. Keep it coming. Rodney, Miss Gunn, okay, we have a builder who personally financed shelling in 10 homes before going through a divorce and needing to liquidate. How can I get a loan to complete and sell? Awesome. That sounds like a great opportunity. Are you basically saying that the home's just, it's a shell? So meaning the foundation's there, it's got sides, it's got a roof on it, that type of stuff. Because that's one of the things for us personally as lenders, we want to make sure that the shell's there, right? You've got the foundation, you've got the sides, you've got the structure, you've got the trusses, those types of things is what we're looking for. So I don't know specifically what exactly you're looking for, Rodney. I'd say hit us up, check us out on dohardmoney.com, and we could check that out. I'm not sure if we're in your area though. That would be the big issue, but check us out. Maybe we can help you out with that. So that's a loaded question. I hope it helped. Let's jump into our real estate market update. What's happening in real estate right now? And one of the things I'd like to know is what's going on in your area. What are you seeing? Please put it in the comments here. Let me know what you're seeing. Are things speeding up? Are things slowing down? Is there little inventory? What are you seeing in your area? Let me know, and I'll give you an idea nationally some of the things that we're seeing. So the National Association of Realtors said sales for existing homes in the United States jumped nearly 25% in July. That's amazing. We're just starting September. July's data is coming out. It's usually a lag here, due in part to the limited supply with inventory of existing homes down 20%. So there's 20% less existing homes, and we saw the supply existing home jumped 25%. So good news for sellers. The median priced homes sold went up about 8%, meaning if your house was $100,000, it's now worth $108,000. So we're seeing an 8% increase on that. Let's see, Rodney, actually he had 20 homes. His wife got 10. She's who I know. Oh, cool. So you're actually able to get them from his wife, which is probably even better because she, if she's not a builder herself, probably doesn't want those houses. So yeah, give us a holler. Maybe that's something we could help you out with. So since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, numerous headlines have drummed up on the rise of suburbans as the new hot destination for virus city dwellers. So although often supported by compelling anecdotes, this narrative does not seem to have a solid base. So basically, we even reported this and said, hey, there's a lot of people that are moving to the suburbs, moving out of the suburbs. And guess what? They're basically saying everything was going up the same. The data did not show disproportionate from the suburbs. It basically showed versus urban. It basically showed that they were moving up the same. So both the suburbs and the urbans were both going up the same. Both regions seem to be hot markets right now, while many suburban areas have seen strong improvement in the housing areas. So, Sean, very little inventory. As soon as a seller decides to sell, it's bought immediately, sometimes before putting it on the market. That's some of the things we're seeing as well, Sean. So, Zillow CEO, real estate market is beginning the great shuffling as people seek more space. I think it's kind of funny because there's this whole movement for these like small home, there's the small home TV and small home this, and it was like, how can I get my house as small as possible? I actually have a joke on that with the I wish it was over here. It's a long ways over there, but we have a fake DVD that's like, hey, outhouse selling, live in an outhouse type stuff, because it was all about how small you can get it. And we're seeing that change. In the second quarter of 2020, a whopping 96% of metro areas showed home price appreciation, and 15 cities reported double-digit growth, according to the National Association of Realtors. Buyers outnumber sellers in the housing market, which means it's better to be a seller than to be a buyer. We're seeing that all over. The jobs report shows that companies brought back workers, helping the unemployment rate dip to 10.2. While the economy has recovered more than 40% of the jobs lost since the pandemic, the current improvement level unemployment is near previous recession highs. Looking at more recent data, job loss claims resume an improving trend this week. The jobs report and more current data both show we're moving in the right direction. Love to see that. Love to see unemployment dropping. We've been seeing that steadily for a while and want to see that continue. In the financial markets, we saw the 8th new record low this year for mortgage rates. These low mortgage rates have helped buyers stretch their dollar even further, which is helping to fuel the real estate demand. Realtor.com weekly data showed another high mark for asking price growth this year. Typically, listing houses rose 9.4 compared to a year ago. The COVID-19 pandemic hasn't slowed down the real estate one bit. I'm seeing that as well. Sean's talking about this as well. In fact, it may even be hotter. And right now, the current home inventory can't keep up with demand. What's happening in your area? Are you seeing the same thing Sean's talking about? Are you seeing the same things happening on the national market? Put it in the chat. Want to see. Okay, Kittleson says, due to COVID-19, most homes are getting offers before potential buyers even see the home in person. Also, this is really interesting. I reported on this last week as well, but virtual open houses, which can work really well for virtual wholesaling, where you actually go to the property, you're the only one there, you start up a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live or whatever the case is, you send out the link to people, they can have you show different parts of the property, and they can make an offer subject to them seeing the property. Works really well when we're talking about wholesaling. The current state of the housing market isn't expected to change anytime soon. It's in part due to the many buyers thinking that the market wouldn't be as seller-friendly as it is right now. They will typically put up with a fair amount because they want to be the one offer that gets accepted. If there's 10 offers on a given Sunday, only one can be accepted, and that means 9 others have to go out there in the market and find another house. Another bright spot, overall housing market activity has returned to January pre-pandemic pace. So when we're talking about what's happening with the real estate market, it's where it was before the pandemic even happened, and the increase was driven by buyer traffic, home price growth, faster time on market. The number of new sellers still lags but continues to improve. Rodney's talking about bidding wars happening in his area. We're seeing the same thing, which is why I like what Rodney's doing. He's finding off-market properties. He's finding deals that other people aren't finding, like this divorce situation that just happened. It's a great example. And actually, in Investor's Edge, you can search for people that have been through divorce so you can market to those guys specifically. Realtor.com survey shows that coronavirus is affecting home shoppers, shows that they are more optimistic. The S&P set the all-time high. You probably saw what happened with Tesla. It was incredible, and we're seeing that with a lot of companies. Over the past decade, U.S. homeowners saw their cumulative home equity climb $6 trillion. That's a trillion dollars. That massive gain, larger than the GDP of every nation, with the exception of the US and China, confirms real estate is still a winning strategy for wealth building. Why I think this is so important is in the last 10 years, think back where you were 10 years ago, we saw the increase of real estate values be more than $6 trillion, which is more than the GDP of every country except for the United States and China. That just means it goes up, right? Real estate's going to go up. It may go down a little, it may go up a little, but in the long run, in the last 10 years, you've seen it screaming up over time. Mortgage rates are also at record lows. 30-year mortgage fixed at 2.88 with some points paid up front, obviously. But 2.88, are you kidding me? Those are things I would have dreamed of when I first started. When I first started in real estate, my interest rates I was buying rental properties with was around 8%. If you got an 8, you were happy. So it's quite some time ago, but keep in mind the difference. You're at 2.8 instead of 8%. That's a big difference. And Powell says they're not even thinking about raising the real estate. They're not even thinking about raising the interest rates right now with the Federal Reserve. That's basically what banks borrow from the Federal Reserve is basically what that means. We've got, how do I say your name? Rifat from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thanks for being with us. Oh man, I hope you're not a Bucks fan. I might be a Bucks fan if the Jazz lose tonight, so maybe they'll make two of us. I don't know. The Fed suggests the worst of this crisis is over. Okay, so let's jump into our COVID update. What else are you guys seeing in your areas as we're starting this COVID update? Type it in the chat. Love to hear from you. If you have questions, make sure you put them up as we go along. COVID-19 update. We're still seeing kind of the same thing. The uptick doesn't seem like it's gotten worse. Doesn't seem like it's gotten better. Andre was with us. Available beds is 3,961 in Maryland, and there's 186 in use right now. Those seem pretty good numbers. Maurice Smith, 14,552. Maurice, I think you're with us today. No, Maurice Wright. Man, I got too many Maurices in my life. Maurice Smith, if you're with us, give us a shout out with 902 in use. Alex, if you're with us, say hello. In Texas, we're showing 28,634 beds with 10,000 in use. Marie, 14,291 in Ohio. Who is from Ohio? Just barely. Somebody just said they're from Ohio. Maurice Wright is from Cleveland, Ohio, with 501 in use. Most states, we're seeing a little bit of an uptick September, October, but we're not seeing substantial. A few are seeing it going down. You probably saw this report, but the plasma treatment, FDA has more than 70,000 patients that'll be treated with the plasma that they're doing. This makes the blood from people who have recovered from the coronavirus infections. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see how that actually works out. Maurice Smith is here. Glad you're here, man. Thanks for being here. Immune reaction to some common colds might provide protection against COVID-19. I think that's really interesting and really helpful. Lasting immunity seen after mild COVID-19 infection report. So here's the deal. To have so-called herd immunity, the point at which the virus can no longer spread widely because there's not enough vulnerable humans. Scientists suggest it's perhaps about 70% of the population must be immune through vaccinations or because they survived the infections. And the newest model puts us for herd immunity at 43%, which I think is pretty high given the situation that we've been in. But that's actually very interesting. And doctors are just getting better at treating COVID. That's just something that's been happening. They're getting better. We're seeing fewer deaths over COVID. I think they said the death rate of those that have COVID, 96% of them had other existing conditions or pre-existing conditions that led to the death as well. So that's interesting. U.S. lifts advisory against all international travel, meaning you are free to move about the cabin. Early test results from prospective novel coronavirus vaccination could be positive signs, researchers say, which is very, very good news. We've got other vaccinations. We've got lots of people trying to do vaccinations. We showed this the other day, but you basically preclinical trials, there's 170 or more vaccinations that are in preclinical, 7 that are in phase 1, 12 that are in phase 2, and we've got 7 more that are in phase 3 waiting for that one approval. But you can see a lot is moving its way down here. August 27th, Moderna and Pfizer have enrolled half the participants needed for their phase 3 30,000 person vaccination. And there's also a 70,000 vaccination trial that's going on as well. Sean says they've reported death rate gone down in my area. Yep, same thing we're seeing in ours as well. Thanks, Sean. Experts agree masks work. Rapid testing through saliva is coming, which I'm really looking forward to. And there's no guarantee, but the government hopes by the end of the year, we're having vaccinations. I am as well. This is also interesting as we've seen, and I think we're seeing that kind of around the country. Kids may be less susceptible to catching and spreading the coronavirus than adults are. Young people who live in the household have a 5.2% risk of catching the virus. Those between ages 20 and 50 have a 14.8%, and those over 60 have an 18.4%. So basically, if you live with someone that has the virus and you're between the ages of 20 and 50, you have a 14.8% risk of getting it. I think that's really interesting. I was really freaked out if somebody got in my house, like we'd have to quarantine them, and what if that was one of my kids, and how am I going to take care of them, and that type of stuff, but feeling quite a bit more confident about if that happened and what we could do. So what does this all mean? And more importantly, what does this mean to a real estate investor? So we've got to find really, really good deals, which I'm really excited about what Rodney has found. We got to find some really good deals. They got to be priced right too, Rodney, as you know. You got to stay on the FHA loan limits. Well, how do you know the FHA loan limit? You Google it, and it'll say FHA loan limits for your area. According to the HUD, of Housing of Urban Development, will say that FHA loan limits for that area is X. Like for my area, I think it's $400,000. They're county by county, but that's the most you want to be selling a property for, not what you're going to want to buy the property for. You're going to want to buy the property for 70% or less than whatever that is. Try and beat the median or the average for your area. What does that mean? You want to be at the median or average price point for your area. So in my area, FHA loan limit is about $400,000, but the median or average price point is about $250,000 or $300,000, which means I'd rather be in a little bit lower price range than the highest. And that doesn't mean I don't have to. I never want to go over the FHA loan limits, but I want to stay closer to the median if possible. And you can look to move outside of the expensive areas and go to some of the other areas. Like we say, we're seeing some great activity in the suburban areas as well. We want to find that worst house and make it the best. That's really what we're trying to do here. So on the resale, we got to be the best price and the best condition. Those houses always sell. The key is buying it right so you can afford to be the best house in the best condition. In real estate, there is always money to be made in every niche. You just have to find that niche. So any questions on COVID, any questions on the real estate market update before we get into this buying a house with code violations, which I know you guys are going to be super excited about. Okay, we got Maurice from Chicago's here. We got some smiley faces. Appreciate it. Let's see here, Sean. So do you want to buy it for 70% under FHA loan limits? No, you actually want to buy it for 70% of the after repaired value. So you definitely don't want, you want to make sure if the FHA loan limit in your area is $400,000, yes, you would want to sell that property for $400,000. So you'd want to buy it at 70%, but you would want to make sure that you're also buying it for 70% or less of the after repaired value. So yeah, I think you're right on, Sean. Basically meaning I would never want to buy a property in my area. What is that? 30%, 40. I'd want to be buying properties for under $300,000, even though the FHA loan limit in my area is $400,000. But I want to make sure I'm 70% or less on the after repaired value. And we have a really cool calculator that does all the math for you on that, that has all the costs and everything else. You should check it out. You can go to dohardmoney.com and check it out. Okay, let's get into this buying houses with code violations. But I feel like I need to get a drink, and because this is going to be, we're going to be fire hosing it here. There's a lot of great information. Okay, buying a house with code violations. So what we're going to be talking about today, and what you're going to learn by the end of this is what code violations are. A lot of people don't even know, like, what is a code violation? Is that the police? Is that the FBI? What is a code violation? How code violations can literally obliterate your profits, kill it completely. How you can use code violations to help find amazingly profitable deals. We're also going to talk about working with contractors, because that becomes really important as we are talking about code violations. So just last week, I think it may have been 2 weeks ago, I got a letter in the mail, okay? The letter, it was in a city that I owned a rental property in, and basically it was a code violation, and I am going to show it to you, okay? This is a code violation, and so this is what they call a courtesy notice, and this code violation, basically you can see they already have these pre-printed, and they just put a checkbox by anything that applies, and then they have another place where they can write whatever they want. So this was dated August 13th, the reference number, this is where the violation actually occurred, location, and then this is who the letter was addressed to. So they're basically saying, hey, we want to reduce crime in great neighborhoods and blah, 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 in West Valley City, code enforcement, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is what they said. All vehicles which are inoperable, unlicensed, or have expired registrations must be stored in a completely enclosed structure, such as a garage or shed, or removed from the property. This includes carports and engines. So basically, it looks like I've got a tenant that has an inoperable or unlicensed car that is out, that is not in a garage or a shed, okay? Or there's car parts, right? So that's one thing they're saying is going on with the property. Other, outside storage of materials, equipment, household items, garbage, junk, refuse, rubbish, residential solid waste, construction or demolition waste, any item stored or accumulated for the purpose of discarding, or any item for the use of its original intended purpose is prohibited. All such materials must be stored in completely enclosed structures, such as garage or shed. Agricultural equipment used on the property is excluded. So those are the two violations that they are proposing. Now, luckily, this is a courtesy notice. So the courtesy notice basically means I have some time to make some changes on that, okay? And then here's just some other things to keep in mind. You know, they could have been graffiti, it could have been whatever the case is. So the next one, they can find me. As a landlord or as a homeowner, they can actually find me on the next one if they come by after the courtesy notice. Now, they're not required to do a courtesy notice, and every city is going to handle this differently. So there's some common code violations that are out there. Inoperable vehicles, storage of garbage or junk outside, parking on the grass, commercial trailer, farm equipment, landscape not installed, household items stored, fences too high, obstruction to the sidewalks, graffiti, not having a finished front yard. All of those things could happen. So several years ago, I actually got a violation. This wasn't a violation. This was a summons to come to court. And the thing is they said they sent me a notice, and I never even got the notice. But when they tell you got to show up to court, they send it to you certified mail. So I obviously got that one, and I showed up to court. And what happens is they were fining $100 a day per incident. So like when we went back, there were 2 incidences that my current tenants are having on that property. Now you can only imagine if they find $100 a day per incident, that would be $200 a day. If you let that go for 10 days or 2 months, you're talking about a serious amount of money here. So when I got it, I had to go to this administrative court. Just so you know, these people aren't real judges. They're wannabe judges. They're called administrative judges, which basically means that they're not a judge. They're not an attorney, but whatever. That's just a side note. I learned that when I was there, and it kind of ticked me off, but whatever. I ended up getting fined because my tenants did not mow the grass. Okay, I didn't know about it. The tenants are responsible for it. Contractually, the tenants are responsible for it. They should have mowed the grass. They didn't do it. I ended up getting a fine. I was pretty upset, okay? So with this forward violation, they said they sent me a notice. I never got it. Whoops, we got the same thing. So what are code violations? So each city has a different set of rules. For example, if you have that broken down car we talked about, and they can send you that notice, they can then fine you per day. And if you don't fix it, then they can get this fine. And it's very important to find out when you buy a home if there are any open violations. That's what can kill your deal. One of the first things you've got to do is contact the city when you're looking at property. And with that, you can say, are there any open code violations or any violations for the property? And then you'll know what they are. Because if they are, we've had situations where someone didn't know there's code violations. They went in there and did work onto the property. And then the city came back and said, what's going on here? You have to rip out everything you've already done because we need to see behind the drywall to make sure the electrical was done properly because there was a violation on that happened. Can you imagine if you got done with your property and you're starting an open house and buyers were flocking in and the city shows up and says, wait a minute, it's time for you to rip the rip everything down so we can look underneath and see if the electrical was installed properly, the plumbing was installed properly. So this is what will obliterate your deals if you're not calling the city beforehand and saying, what's going on? Are there any open violations, any open problems? So if there is, you must get them fixed when you do the rehab. Don't try and not or avoid it. And it may take the city a year before they come back and see you, or 6 months, or whatever the case is, but they will be back. And so you must make sure the city will be happy with them. If a home doesn't meet code, you can't get a traditional loan on it. The lenders are going to want to make sure there's no zoning violations. Now, a hard money lender, private money lender, they're going to do a loan for you on that. Or in most cases, they would be willing to do a loan. But if you want to go get a loan from Bank of America or Chase or whatever, they're not going to do that. A house is not up to code. Building codes are to protect the public health, the general welfare, the safety. Every city is going to be different, and these rules can change. If there's a violation of any of the above, the building is not considered up to code. So any of this type of stuff is not up to code. It would be a minor, it could be as minor as grass being too long or as major as a roof falling in. There can be electrical code, plumbing code, solar code, addition without a permit, you name it. The condition of the property, having that broken down car outside. So can you sell a home that's not up to code is the question. The answer is yes, you can sell a home that's not up to code, but the buyers have to be willing to take over that problem. And in most cases, they'll have to do it with cash or hard money. That's how they're going to make the purchase happen, because traditional lenders are not going to allow the property to be transacted or for them to do a loan on it unless those code violations are taken care of. So we've talked about how this can make a major problem for you. You got to know if there's code violations when you're buying a property. But I hope your brain is starting to shift here and say, how can this become an opportunity for me? How can I start buying things that have code violations? We're going to talk about that. So how do you find out about violations? So sellers may tell you on the seller's disclosure that there's some violations. Some states say it's required, others do not. You can call the city. This is the easiest thing. Just call the city, say, here's the property address. Are there any open violations, code violations, anything you know about it? Let me know now so you can validate that. So this is how code violations can actually kill your deal. If you do the work, like doing that addition to the property, you don't pull the permits, the city finds out, they can require you to remove everything like it talked about, pulling that drywall down so they can see the plumbing or the electrical behind it is expensive, time consuming, and will kill your profits. Very, very expensive. If it requires you to get a permit, get it. So if you're doing things that the permits are required, go get the permit. Most things like carpet, paint, putting in a kitchen don't require a permit, but the big things require permits. So don't get surprised later. It is so expensive. I can tell you, I've been through this before. How to find deals through code violations. This is where we want to start shifting our brains and saying, okay, code violations can kill my deal. People get these code violations or these courtesy notices. They're not very happy about it. What do? Code violations are a matter of public record. That means if a violation goes out, anybody that wants to can know about it. You just have to know where to go find it. So what you want to do is contact your city and ask for a code violation list. You want to call the code enforcement department in most cases. Think of this as you go to, so you've called the city, you've got the code violation. So there's a couple things that can happen here. You can then jump on Investor's Edge and say, who owns this property? And I'm going to send a letter to that person that has a code violation. Or I'm going to do a skip trace, get the phone number, and I'm going to call that person that has a code violation and say, hey, as a matter of public record, I noticed you have a code violation because the grass is too high, the tenants have done this. You're probably getting sick of this property, aren't you? You're probably thinking, let me just get rid of this property, aren't you? Well, here's the deal. I'll buy the property with its current problems. Don't worry about the code violations. I'll pay for those. I'll buy the property from you. We'll have this thing done in a couple weeks. How does that sound? That's something that you can do. The other thing that you can do, and this is where you're going to meet a guy like me, is you can go to city court. Okay, so you got to find out when is the day for code violations at the court, and you sit back, and it's a courtroom, and you can walk into the courtroom, and you'll see they'll call up the administrative fake judge. We'll call somebody up, and every city's different. In that specific city, West Valley, they have fake judges. So they'll call somebody up, and they'll say they'll be the district attorney there, and they'll be there, and the judge fake judge, will be up there and say, hey, well, tell me about this. And they'll say, well, the violation, there's this and that and the other. And the people will get up there and say, we don't have the money. We can't afford it. Your tenant did it, whatever. Usually, if you're a homeowner and you're walking out past that fake judge, you're kind of ticked off. And so what you do is you say, hey, when they walk out, you walk out with them and you say, hey, my name is Ryan. I buy houses that are in need of help. Anything that has code violations, that type of stuff. I'd be happy to make you a cash offer or a great offer on your property where I can buy the property. I'll take it over. Why don't we go take a look at it? Let me come over to your house right now. That type of stuff. Let's schedule. How's Friday? And then you can talk to them. Think of this. These people are in a peculiar situation. Like they've got a mess they've got to deal with. And lots of people just don't have the money to take care of it. And selling the property could be a major help to them and could be a major help to you as well. So you sit at the back of the city court and you do that. So you have many homeowners that can't pay for the repairs. You have landlords that may be so sick of this. My own mom got in a situation where her tenants were causing some issues. She just got tired of it. She's like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm just going to sell it and be done with it, sell it as is. And if somebody wants to take over these problems, I'm willing to discount the property because I don't want to deal with them anymore. You can get properties from people that don't even know about it, right? Other people aren't competing on these code violations. We talked about how the market's really tight right now. It's hard to find deals. This is a way of finding deals that other people aren't going to be willing to because you've got to put some effort in. You've got to go to get those code violations. You've got to go down to the courthouse and be there and sit for the meetings and talk to some people. But these are people that are going to have motivation. We also need to make sure they have equity, and that's the second piece of what we need to do. But they're going to have a high degree of motivation, and they're going to have a higher likelihood of a deal happening. So now what do? Well, we can send mail to the code violations, right? We can send the mail, we can do the skip trace, we can call them, we can show up to the courthouse. There's lots of things that we can be doing to actually contact, to get in front of these people that have code violations that other people aren't doing or aren't even thinking about. And then what you've got to do is work with contractors, right? You have to work with a reputable general contractor because, keep in mind, there are code violations and the city's coming back in to make sure these things get done correctly. So if you got that property under contract or work a deal out with Mr. Seller who had a code violation, I want to call the code violation office or enforcement office, I want them to send that to me in writing. I want in writing all the violations. I want to let them know that I'm buying the property. I'll be taking care of that. I want to ask them to stop fining until I can acquire the property and have the chance to get those things done. And then I need to get a reputable general contractor, somebody that's not going to cut corners, somebody that's going to be fair, somebody that's going to go in there, get the work done so that I can make sure when the city comes back in to do an inspection, boom, we know we're in good shape. And that general contractor is going to give you the cost of those city violations, what it's going to cost to cure it. And keep in mind, cities can be very unreasonable and want you to go overboard. So if I was doing a code violation type deal, I would put some money in my budget as a slush fund or an emergency fund in the event the city asks you to do more than they originally done. I've had cities say, all you need to do is X, Y, and Z, and they came back later and said, you got to do more stuff than what we agreed to. I've even had cities that have put that in writing for me and then asked for more things afterwards. So be careful of cities doing a little bait and switch on you. You've got to be careful about that. So there may be fees and fines. This is really important. We talked about meeting Mr. Seller and saying, I'll take over this project for you. With that, just know there are fees. You've got to be prepared for that. These cost, and you've got to make sure it's still a profitable deal. Bake this in as a cost. Put it as a line item saying, I've got to pay these fees and fines. It's going to be X number of dollars. Am I still profitable? And am I still making money? That you need to know as you're making an offer on one of these types of properties. So in the end, you want to make sure you check for your code violations before you actually purchase the property. You want to get with your city and get a list of people that have code violations. You want to market those people to buy their home. In addition, you want to show up to that zoning court or that code violation court and give out business cards and actually direct contact with people while you are there. I hope this has been really helpful for you. If you've got questions, put them in the chat. I want to talk about our find, fund, flip system, but I got to get a drink here. All right, questions, throw them in the chat. If you are interested in our complete system that takes brand new investors through flipping their first home, it's called our Find, Fund, Flip system. Dozens of hours trainings. It's got our deal software, including their Investor's Edge. You can do skip tracing, send postcards, and access to our 100% financing loans. dohardmoney.com/get started. Check us out, dohardmoney.com/get started. If you enjoyed this, if this was valuable, first off, put it in the chat. I'd love to see it. But make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and tell someone else about it. And go check us out over there, dohardmoney.com/get-started. Okay, what you missed last week. We talked last week about how many houses you can flip in a year, the time frame, how many houses you can actually do, how to get started, how to do more flips, and what you should expect to make it happen. Go check it out on YouTube, Do Hard Money. Type in how many houses can you flip in a year. Let's see here. Sean, I've noticed you have averaged about 6 viewers because I believe this is useful info. Oh, we've got viewers on different platforms. So we've got a ton more than that, Sean. We got people on Facebook and on YouTube. We've got people on, what else do we have people on? I don't know. Facebook, Periscope, Twitch. Anyway, we got a bunch of people. So I hope it's been helpful to everybody that has actually been here. Okay, future live cast. What are you looking for? What would you like? Let me know. There's a lot of topics that we can do. Wholesaling, determining rehab, coronavirus investing, wholesaling remotely. If one of these is of interest to you, please type it in the chat now so we can look at some future trainings around it. Choosing good contractors, virtual wholesaling, finding cash buyers, seller financing, contractor bids, determining rental prices, preparing for cash flow, business partner deep dive, reverse wholesaling, finding cash buyers, seller negotiating on the kitchen table, income properties, sales skills, closing a deal, all the players, auction properties, subject to deals, determining repair bid amount, buying properties remotely, making offers without seeing properties, or something else. If you are interested in any of these, please type it in the comments now and we'll be looking at it. And check us out over at dohardmoney.com/get started. Altogether. If you've enjoyed this, the other thing you can check us out is on the Income Hacker podcast. We do a podcast on a weekly basis. You can go to Stitcher, to iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out over at Income Hacker as a podcast. Okay, I think we're to the moment where everybody has been waiting. Maurice wants to hear about virtual wholesaling. I appreciate that, Maurice. Today's swag winner. This is what you've been looking for all along, okay? Anthony won last week, okay? So not this week. He won last week. He was our swag winner last week. And if you haven't claimed it yet, Anthony, make sure you do that. I'll show you how in just a minute. Well, again, we're looking for the best comments. We're looking for interaction during and on the recorded video. And remember, I gave you guys a hint on how to win. Make sure you record on the recorded video. Make sure you make some comments there. Those guys actually are some of our best winners. So keep that in consideration. Let's see. Gabriel saying wholesaling and reverse wholesaling. Fantastic. Sean, thank you for all the useful information. You bet, Sean. I'm glad you were with us today, and I'm glad you are one of our new subscribers. Okay, here we go. Our swag winner for last week. That's going to be getting the cool backpack and everything else we've got that we went through earlier today. Our winner is Andre. Andre, are you with us today? Let me see. I think you were. I'm just looking. I thought that I saw you here. Anyway, if you are, please give us a shout out. If not, you'll be watching this recorded video. So Andre or anybody from the last week or the week before, if you haven't claimed it, please email support@dohardmoney.com. In the subject line, put swag winner. The screen name, put your mailing address and your cell phone number, and we will send you the free swag. So make sure you take advantage of that. Business partner deep dives. Gloria wants to see business partner deep dives. Sean, great congratulations to Andre as well. Check us out over at dohardmoney.com/get started if you want some help with any of those things. Also, if you have any interest in getting some free swag like this, you can email us at support@dohardmoney.com and you can put earn free swag, and we can give you a way that you can actually earn some free swag. We'll send you out a swag bag if that's interesting to you. So just support@dohardmoney.com. Okay, guys, next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same place, Let me know what topic you are interested in. What do you want to hear about? Put it in the comments here. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Congratulations, Andre from RPM Support. I'm glad that you were with us today as well. Appreciate you being with us. Congratulations to Andre for being our winner. Put in the comments what you'd like to see. Make sure you give us some thumbs ups and put some notes in those recorded videos as well so you can win next week's Swag Bag of the Week. Thanks everybody for being with us, and make it a very profitable day.